Hey there and welcome back. So we did the user test TS and did a lot of code, and we tested it out, and it works as expected. And we can see that we have this valid user registration info. So let me just first clear the terminal here, because this will test the auth controller, the register endpoint here, the register route, and more specifically all the way through the router, the register, and to the controller, to the register user function here. And it's going to go all the way down here to the 201 and return error null, this particular test. But, and this is just one example, because in the optimal world, we should theoretically try to test as many lines of code as we can. So we want to achieve as high code coverage as possible. But of course, this is always a trade-off of how much resources you want to put into this and how many hours of work. Because right now we're testing the golden way here, where things go well and they pass the validation and stuff. But let's just say that we want to test out if this joy validation is actually working, because we have this validate registration info, this joy validation, that will validate our schema or validate our data according to this schema here, and report back if something is wrong. So how do we do that? Well, it's actually pretty easy, because we have this test already here. And let me see here. Let me just collapse the terminal here. We can just copy this. If we take a copy of this test here. So now we have two, and let's just put this, change the name of this to invalid. Oh, so we're testing the valid data and also the invalid. And this is important, because we need to know, to make sure that our system behaves correctly in the case of a user sending invalid data. So it's much the same. We can see here we're still sending a user, and we could modify this in different ways, but let's just take the password as an example. Because if we go back here, we can see that Joy will enforce us to have at least 6 characters in the password. So this is one example. So if we change this to 1 to 34, we are violating invalid password according to Joy. And Joy should respond to this, and we should not allow the user to be registered in the system. So we can reuse a lot of these things. We can reuse the acting here, but we need to modify this a bit, of course, here, because when we send data that is not valid here, we can see what should happen in the API. It should respond with 400. It should respond with 400 because it is not. We have an error, and then it should send this this error message that we can maybe look on just in a minute here, and then it should return. So not proceed. So what we can do, first off, we can just do a test of 400, and we could make a test. Let's just first try this out here. Let's just see what happens if we run this test here. So now we have 2 test cases in the same function. Okay, so now we should have 3 total. So if we run npm test, let's see what happens. Okay, so they're passing. Let's make a quick. So now we are testing it out here to see what happens if we have a valid. Then it should not give 400, it should give 2 or 1. So just a quick internal test here. Should fail now. Yes, because we got this. So seems to work, but to be even more verbose in what actually comes out of this test here, we could do something like this. This could be interesting just to make a quick test on here. If we do a console, just to see the actual output here, you see if we go to auth controller again here, we have this error that is saved as the joy message. That is just error details and then the message property here. So if we go back and we take, let's see here, take this first, just to see what actually is outputted here. So we can see we actually get this message from Joy. Password length must be at least 6 characters long. So what we could do, if we wanted to, we could do something like this. We could do expect our JSON error to equal, let me see here, I can just copy this text actually. And I know this may be a bit too direct in the way it actually tests. So I think we need to do like this. Let me just check. Oh, sorry, this is not the way. There. We need to close it. So like this. This is because we need to escape the characters of making these backslashes. This might not be totally relevant to the test you're going to make, but this is just to demonstrate for the sake of the example here that you can actually do this. You can actually expect, you can compare the what you receive to what you are expecting. So if we do like this test here again, so now we're expecting 400 and also to get this exact message. So we can see it passes, and if we just modify one thing, 9 characters, I know this is just for the sake of the example here. So let's see. This should fail now because we don't get the exact same message, you can see, and Playwright actually tells us this is the expected, this is the received, so something is wrong here. So if we, let's just say that for some reason I go into my auth controller and I decide that I should change some of these messages. Now I can't change the joy message, but if I wanted to change this message here, then I should actually be notified by the automatic test here that it is not passing anymore. Okay, so 2 different tests now, testing valid and also invalid user registration info against the database. And yes, I think this is enough for this video. Stay tuned for more videos and hope you make this work. Have fun. Bye-bye.